Hey guys, it's Elizabeth, Finding Elizabeth. This is getting to be a thing. Me and you in my bed having coffee on Tuesday mornings. Let's see. This week is 3 years since I had vertical sleeve gastrectomy. My highest weight in January of 2014 was 402 pounds. My weight at surgery was 360.6 pounds. My weight last week was 214 pounds, and my weight today was 217.6 pounds, which is the highest. Well, I've hit this number a few times in the last couple of months, but not a good happy number for me, considering that I was just looking back through my weight records on my surgery last year. I was 206 pounds. So surgery's Friday. Even if a lot of this is water weight, but even if I lose it, I'm probably looking at a 10-pound gain in the last year, which is in no way, shape, or form acceptable. I don't know, not in a good place today. Sort of been on the struggle bus a little bit. Yes, with weight loss surgery stuff, but just mentally as well. I had mentioned last week that I was going to give keto a go, and Tanya was so supportive and helpful and such a great accountability partner. But I found what I found last time, and it has nothing to do with keto. Keto works. Keto works. I mean, look at Tanya, look at the other people who do it. There is no doubt in my mind that keto works. I just found that what happened the first time I tried it happened again this time, which is where I could do it pretty well for a couple of days. And then the whole, the whole idea of certain things being off limits just kind of set me off in the total opposite direction, even more than, it's just like a slingshot effect or something. There were donuts, there were so many things that I don't eat that often. And I was talking to Tanya about it yesterday and saying that, and she was giving me some very valid feedback on how I think about it. And what I had said to her was, the way she was saying something about whatever plan you're on. And I said, well, the thing about the way I ate, and she said, obviously you must be, I don't know what she said, obviously, what did she say? I should actually just look at it. But anyway, she said something to the effect of what, you must not have gone too far off track, or you would have gained a lot of weight back or something of what your plan was before or something. And I said, well, that's the thing. It's like what I was before I didn't feel like it was a plan. I felt like it was just the way I ate. And she said, exactly, that's the way I feel about keto now, is it's not anything. It's just the way I eat. So anyway, blah, blah, blah. Long story short, so I ate a lot of carbs and I retained a lot of water, and now I'm 217.6 and I'm not happy about it. And the biggest issue for me in this, I think, is probably alcohol. And so I'm just going back to what I did before, which was really, and I'm going to track my food to make sure I'm doing, which was really basically 1,200 calories, 80 grams of protein. Usually ended up around 50 grams of carbs. I didn't track fat, and if I drink my water and exercise, and then try to work on reducing my alcohol intake. So that's where I am with that. I didn't work out yesterday or last week either. I worked out one day last week. I've worked out yesterday and today so far this week. But more than anything, I think I'm just in sort of the proverbial mental mind fuck, which happens. And I guess it happens probably the further out you get from, it's not even just about surgery, but it's part of that. The further out that you get from surgery, the more things change mentally, the more things change in your life. And like right now, I'm so not, you guys are also wonderful and supportive. I'm not looking for people to say, you look great, blah, blah, blah. I know, particularly compared to the way I used to look, I know that I look great. Because I'm so humble about that. You can tell by how many selfies I post on the internet. But I am not seeing in pictures. I'm not liking the pictures I see. I'm just really not feeling good about where I am in a lot of areas. And I'm also, I'm just sort of, there's a lot of change that comes about in your personality, in your life, in your relationships as a result of weight loss surgery. And I'm learning to walk that line. I was talking actually to my dad this week about the fact that I felt like that I was feeling very sad for someone because I felt like they were at a point in their life where they felt like they were, that they just truly felt like they were a piece of crap, and I didn't see that changing. And I didn't see that changing because that person isolates so much. And I was talking about how that's just a thing in our family. That's what we do. That's what I did. That's what my son does. That's what my parents do. That's sort of our thing, is to isolate. And one of the things that and I was telling my dad, I said, the thing that's changed me more than losing 200 pounds, although losing 200 pounds did set me up. I'm not looking at the camera at all today. I'm obviously not, I don't know. I'm not clear on what I'm saying. I'm not feeling great. And I'm thinking while I'm talking, but I realize I have not looked at the camera at all until right now. But the biggest thing that's changed me is not losing 200 pounds. It's the relationships that I've had with people. And when I say change me, I mean change how I feel about myself. And somebody mentioned it. I'm sure it was probably Monica, Sleeved After 60, in response to my video last week, where she was saying that it was very apparent that I had done a lot of therapy and introspection. I am super introspective and have done a lot of therapy. And before I went to therapy, I remember going into therapy thinking that I was a bad mom, I was a bad employee, I was a bad daughter, I was a bad friend, I was a bad partner, I was a bad person. And I remember that for years I used to think, people say, I feel like, or people would just say, well, I'm a good person, why did that happen to me? And I was like, how do you know that? How do you know that you're a good person? Because I never felt that way. And therapy really, intense therapy really helped me make that shift. And let me just take a quick look at how long this is. Oh, Jesus. Really helped me take that shift from not feeling that way anymore. And led me to the place where I felt deserving enough to even have weight loss surgery and to lose this weight. But it's really been, the things that have changed me the most have been the relationships that I've had with other people. Because for so long I was so isolated, and the only voice I heard inside my head giving me feedback on the things I did was mine. And mine was not a hugely kind voice. And so it's when, I started to have relationships with people where I truly showed myself. Like my intimate self with people, which I don't know that I had ever done before. And now it's something I really think about in interaction. In all my interactions, at work, with my family, with my friends, in romantic relationships, is that I want to try to be as true to that core of who I am as I can, and this is the part where I probably screw it up sometimes, and is appropriate for the level of that relationship. And I was telling my dad that it's through that I've had people reflect things back to me about myself that have changed how I feel about myself. But there's still, I'm still struggling a lot with how to do that, how to show up authentically when it's not all good, when it's not all unicorns and rainbows, and also with the idea of feeling of what I feel like I am deserving of. And I'm reading this book So, you know, I go to the gym in the morning. I lift weights, and then I do cardio on the treadmill, and I read while I do cardio. That's pretty much my solid reading time. And I'm reading this book by Anne Lamott. It's a new book. I don't even know what it's called. It's like her new book that just came out. It's called Alleluia Anyway, Rediscovering Mercy. This is an author whose book Operating Instructions I read when I was pregnant with my son. She was also a single mother, and I had a sense at that time, although I wasn't really at that time, I had a feeling that was going to be my path, and it scared the shit out of me. And it was her book and her humor and also she was pretty fucked up, so I was like, okay, if she can do this, I can probably do it too. But it was her intelligence and humor and insight and the fact that she did it that gave me a lot of hope and strength. And so this book, so now her son is probably a few years older than mine. But this book, at least it's talking about mercy, but it's talking a lot about at least in the part I'm reading too, about, you know, parenting and watching your kids grow up and that relationship as you grow up. And, you know, I would get so teary reading it, and I would be thinking about my son who's struggling a little bit right now and the mercy I have for him and want to share with him and want to show to him. And then, you know, it crossed my mind, it's like, why can't I show that to myself? Because I'm a little hard on myself and a little unforgiving. And there was a quote in the book that I sort of highlighted today to share with you guys. It says, I guess the premise for it is to be merciful. One has to be done with the pretense of being just fine, unscarred, perfectly self-sufficient. No one is. Well, that's how I've lived my life forever, is, you know, feeling like, even for the limited relationships I had, that for people to be part of my life, it had to appear like I was just fine. I didn't need anything from anybody. And, that I was perfectly self-sufficient, and if I did anything wrong, that relationship was going to be over. And so that's, like I mentioned in NSV a few weeks ago, where I told someone that I cared about that they were irritating me, and it was not a big deal. Ultimately, I do think it probably has to do that I shared at that level, and what it was I was irritated about and what that meant, you know, is probably why he pulled away, which is fine, because when I did it, I was coming from the place of, you know what, if I can't say how I feel about something, then, and the relationship can't survive it, then, you know, I need to know that now. But that was a big NSV for me, and it's hard to do that. It's hard to, this video makes no fucking sense, does it? Anyway, it's just, it's hard for me to realize that I don't have to be perfect. I don't have to be sufficient. I can say when my feelings are hurt, I can be upset about it, and I can make mistakes in relationships, in work, in, you know, keto, in not exercising, in how I show up for people, in parenting, you know, and that I need to have the same mercy for myself that I do for other people. Anyway, okay, enough. We haven't had a Teary Liz video in a while. So just self-reflective and not in a total happy flappy mood. But the happy flappy things that did happen last week, where I got to spend a lot of time with WLS people. Of course, Gracie and Patty I saw a lot. And, I mean, Gracie I see every day. But I saw Patty like 3 times last week. And then Lindley was here visiting. Lindley VSG was here visiting from Seattle with her family. We had brunch with her and her husband and daughter, and she's lovely. Her family is lovely. And I just wanted to give her as an example, because I know a lot of you people talk about WLSFA who don't make videos and are worried about being connected. I mean, Lindley, I wasn't sure if she had made videos, but I asked her this weekend, and she said, yes, she'd made a few videos, but not really. But she, you know, sort of stepped in and connected with people. Even though she didn't make videos, she commented, I think more on Facebook probably than videos. I don't remember. But she also came to OH in that was in California here in October. So we got to meet her and spend time with her, and she is really good about, you know, staying in communication and contact with people, and she's going to be at WLSFA this year, so I hope you guys give her a warm welcome. But I just think she's an example of somebody who, although she didn't make videos, has, you know, really worked to kind of establish relationships with the people that she saw and watched through YouTube. And it can be done, and we're all very nice people. I am actually not, I've gone back and forth on WLSFA. I'm actually not going. Decided that for sure this morning. But I did already buy a ticket from Trisha, so I have a ticket for $50. If anybody wants it, let me know. And then Gracie and I are going to have dinner with Goodbye Girl on Thursday, so looking forward to meeting her. And I want to give a shout out to Amy, because she has some medical stuff going on tomorrow, so I want to give her a shout out. And Sarah, my Sarah, it's her 5-year surgiversary this week, I believe. And it's Patty's 5-year surgiversary, and I am doing a giveaway, Q&A, so if you post a question below, I'm going to do a $20 Amazon gift card, and I might do the Q&A on this Live or whatever it is, where we can actually talk and answer questions. Once I figure out what's going on this week, I'll let you know. So that's where I'm at. I hope you guys have a good week, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.